So, having been a visual effects producer and involved in the visual effects world for a good period of time, what are some of the biggest advancements that you've seen over the period of time, and especially now with data management and being involved in that sense?
It used to be that that the center of the visual effects universe was in Los Angeles, then it spread to the UK a little bit. But now, really, you can find talented artists anywhere in the world now. Anybody who has a knack for it and can access a computer can find training for themselves and be able to demonstrate their abilities. Mm. So I would say that that's probably that's the greatest change recently.
Sure. What do you recommend for those that would be interested in trying to get into the visual effects world? Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly for what I do is very different than if somebody was interested in pursuing an artist track. It would depend on, they really like to animate, they want to composite, they want to, it's a different world. And in my world, you can't really go to college to learn how to produce visual effects. The tools that I look for and the people that I hire, or the skill sets, are people who can do maybe a little bit of programming. They know they know various computer languages. They can work their way through it. They can help automate by writing scripts for what we do. Because really we track so much data, and we need to be able to sort that data in any number of ways at any number of people's whim. Hey, I need this list or that list, or what's going on with that shot. We use basic software packages like FileMaker, and I told you Fifth Kind, that asset management. We use CineSync, which is straightforward, and Skype. Really, it's somebody who, the more technical you are, though, and unafraid of technology, the more valuable you are in production, especially for what we're doing.
Sure. I know conversion can work really well because there's good examples of it already, outstanding examples actually. But people have a bad taste in their mouth because there have been some others. So it must be very exciting to be able to have your hands involved in helping to make people see that it can work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And coming up with new and more efficient ways of doing things is also, I spent towards the end of my Sony tenure, I felt like there was so much money that got wasted and spent, and I don't mean at ImageWorks, I just mean in the industry in general, and that it just shouldn't cost so much money to do this work. It's kind of obscene. And so being able to sit in a place now where I can actually prove that it doesn't have to cost that much money, that we can actually do this for a third of the price that we used to think we could do it for, is very rewarding. So what we're doing, instead of just doing finishing the visual effects, which is traditional, and then going on to the conversion process after, we're doing it as a tandem pipeline, where we get a plate, we send it to visual effects, they match move it, and they clean it up. It goes back to conversion. Conversion does their conversion and sends back the right eye, left eye to visual effects, and then they render the visual effect left eye, right eye. So it's being rendered natively in stereo. So it's a true hybrid. So nobody's tried to do a pipeline like this before. Nobody's trying to do it concurrently, and it's really fun. It's, coming up, figuring out, we have calls. Our conversion company is in Vancouver, our visual effects vendor is in Australia, so we have calls every week with all three companies on the phone trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this, what didn't we think of, what's come up that we hadn't anticipated, and how do we overcome it, and changing the way that we do things is very exciting for me. There are no rules for us. I don't have a box that I have to work within, and I have a lot of strong relationships. So what I've been finding is that I have people that I know, filmmakers that I know, that come to me and they have projects. They have these incredibly, what 5 years ago would have been impossibly low budgets to do the work they want to do, and we put our heads together and we get to come up with new ways of trying to do this work.